guys, welcome back. Carrying on with our 1/10 scale shootout, guys. Here is the RS4, the HPI RS4 Sport 3. This is a creator edition, guys. So what does that basically mean is you get the platform and then you get to put all the electrics, wheels, body shells the way you want it. Alright, so it worked out to be a bit cheaper. I think it's about 125, something like that. New with body shells, electrics, these up to £300, some of these. But yeah, now the only thing is they're pretty hard to find now, some of these bodies. Go take a look at that. Alright, so that one is still about, and there's a Gulf Ford GT, and again they're about £300. So here's the wheels, and with these, like the Fortec, the fronts are narrow, the rears are wide, and it's pretty hard to find these wheels nowadays, guys. I saw a pair come up on eBay and they went, and about £30 they went for, which isn't bad. So yeah, pretty hard to find now. But the thing was that I've got the electrics anyway, so it's just a case of putting it together, putting my electrics in. Body shells I've got galore. I'm going to show you some of them as well, guys. And yeah, so now the thing is, just like the VXL system, guys, this is HPI's offering of a 3S lipo brushless system. Alright, and again I had this in a slash and it burnt out. So really there's no way I would have entertained putting a VXL or this system in a short course truck or something that's big 110 scale off-road. No way, guys. It's a 4000 kV motor, but yo, them things burn out. They get red hot. I mean, I gear my stuff a little bit high anyway, but just in general, they're not really going to handle the load. So for something like this, perfect. High kV motors are perfect for 110 scale. You know, the higher kV, the more speed you're going to get. I mean, 65,000 kV might run a bit hot, but you know what? You don't have to gear as much when you've got a high kV motor. So yep. So let's have a look. Let's crack this little bad boy open and take a look inside. So let's have a look at the box all the way around. Alright. So the thing with HPI is, you know, their stuff's solid. Alright. I don't know how much there is in afterparts support nowadays because they're not as prominent as they used to be. I think that's telling you what we need. Which, the thing is, guys, you know, if you've got a few RCs, the benefit is you have transmitters, especially if you've got Fly Sky stuff. I mean, their receivers are like, what, £6? So yeah, ESCs, yep, motors. So you kind of have stuff lying around anyway. So for me to do something like this, it's not difficult. If you're starting off, you want to really go for a ready-to-run bundle. But yeah, I'm alright with that. So yep, see the cars there. Here's some of the things that are on this car. So we've got the fully adjustable suspension, we've got an aluminium motor mount, sealed metal gear differentials, we've got a sealed shaft four-wheel drive, and we've got adjustable oil-filled shocks. Okay, and here is a bit of a look at the chassis. There's not much aluminium, it's a tub chassis, guys, plastic, hard plastic. You know, it's going to be solid. HPI, their stuff is pretty decent, guys. You know, they've got good proven platforms. I wasn't a fan of the Sprint. I would have gone for that because of the belt driven systems. I'm just not a fan of belt driven, guys. Where I drive, there's lots of stones and stuff like that. Don't really fancy driving places where I can get stones stuck in there and get my chassis all messed up. So I've always liked shaft driven, guys. Even when I went into 110 scale ages ago, it was the TC3s, TC4s, and they were shaft driven as well. So we've got height adjustable body posts. Okay, we've got silicone oil-filled threaded shocks, adjustable battery box. We've got spring-loaded servo. We've got durable gear, differentials, shaft drive, four-wheel drive. Okay, and aluminium motor mount and double wishbone suspension. So yep. Okay, let's cut this little bad boy and have a wee look inside without cutting myself. You didn't tune in to watch me bleeding bleeding to death. Ooh. Right, here's some accessories. That's kind of funky, isn't it? So you've got adjustable turnbuckles, you've got carbon shock towers, woo! You've got universal drive shafts. You've got an aluminium spool set, which I actually wanted to get with this, but it was out of stock. I did order it, but the back order was taking time, so I left it. An aluminium shock set. So the spool was a 40T spool set. I like that, you know, guys. In my cars that have spools, they don't have a slipper clutch, just direct power. For all electrics, it's amazing, man. I mean, it's just instant power. There's no having to spool up, basically. You know, like when you have a bit of a wind up with a slipper clutch, it's not the case. Okay, so really for the money, guys, I mean, look, I haven't driven it, and I'm just saying for the money, you can't go wrong if you've got a system. I don't really think twice about this. I thought, yep, that's a better option. I'm looking to get in, you know, a few body shells anyway, find something that fits, some decals to put on there, guys. Pretty cool. We'll have a look at the book in a bit. Okay, right, so you've got a little bit, it's probably not 99, probably not 100% RTR. You've got a little bit of building to do, so you've got parts to install, unless they're spares. I'll find out right now. So, let's have a look. Oh, I think you've got to do a bit of building. Woo, yeah. I just finished my D5 Sakura, so, well, I just finished my Stingray Vortec, so yeah, I'm kind of in the zone to build, so not a problem. It won't be too complicated anyway. The bulk of it is all made. I'd say it's about 70 to 80% made, if not more. And we've got shock posts and bumper. Alright, so they've obviously done it for smaller packaging, because if you have the bumper on, you're going to need a bigger box. So yeah. Oh, is it cable tied? Ooh, yeah. Alright, so that's what it looks like in the box. Alright, guys. So, nothing amazing, but it's rugged. I can just tell it's rugged. Alright, so I need to cut them cable ties. Can I do it with my trusted Sharpie blade without cutting and messing everything else up? Come on, baby. Let's do it. I'm going to mess it up. I just don't... Oh, yeah. That's kind of alright. Yeah, I don't like pausing and starting again and just kind of... I'd rather just go with the flow. Come on, let's do it. Almost there. Almost there, come on. Dude, let me try it on this side. Yep. Okay. Right. Nothing else in there? Not that I think. Right, okay. So here we go. So you can see the double wishbone suspension, guys. Oil-filled shocks. They do an upgraded version for £40, where they're more aluminium. They've got this orange and silver kind of look to it. The bumper's going to fit there. Yeah. That's quite a decent sized battery strap and holder, because that's where your shaft must be, because you can fit 3 S lipos in there, so that should be pretty cool. And yeah, it's quite similar to the Vortec system as the way, well, I think all of them are like that, the way the motor mounts up. Alright, so there's not much aluminium on there. You could buy this with hop-ups, guys, and you probably spend about £200 or £300 just on the hop-ups alone. But you know what? I'm just doing a shootout. I just want to see which one's the best 1/10 scale RC on the market today. Alright, guys, so I'm going to try them out in different ways. I want to see how they handle with on-road tyres and stuff like that. What they're like for speed. Can you drift the little bad boys? So yeah. Alright. Right, here's the system, guys, the used system, but it's actually made for this. So I think it comes stock, or I think it actually comes in this. So this is the EMH-3 Flux waterproof system, which is kind of water resistant. I won't say waterproof. And yeah, I never thought I'd buy one of these again. So I bought a Slash with one of these and it burnt out. It got red hot and it actually burnt out. But in this scale, on road, can't see there being a problem, guys, unless I gear it mad lead. But even then, I won't be too worried about it. But off-roading, nah, man. No way would I do that again. No way. So I was going to put a cheap Chinese system in there, but I thought, you know what? Might as well just put the HPI system in. I've got a VXL system in the Vortec, so it'll be a good comparison to see which one's good. HPI and Traxxas, guys, I know Armour's come out now and people are mad about them, but I haven't got an Armour truck, and the reason being is I don't think there's anything. I'm not, if you're not I'm a fanboy, you're gonna hate me right now. I don't think there's anything they brought out that really that's really gonna. Well, there's nothing they brought out that I haven't got. Do you get it? I like the shape of the Limitless. Felony looks pretty cool, but I've already got like 300 or 400 mile an hour trucks. You know, got my slash conversion. I have got my. I'll show you guys. It's pretty funky, man. My what is it? X3 GT, right? And that's mad. And I've got this little. I need to show it to you guys, right? It's like a 1/8 scale, but it's like this size, and it's got a 36 tooth spool inside it, and it's just made for speed. That thing's mental. So yeah. Anyhow, off the topic. So yep, HPI and Traxxas were obviously the main competitors until Armour's come on the scene. But yeah, I can tell it's gonna be decent. I do sway towards the Traxxas stuff. The only reason being is it's easy to work on, and parts are readily available. But apart from that, HPI stuff's pretty cool. I do rate it. So I just want to see how rugged it is. I'm tempted to jump these little bad boys. So let's see how we get on with that. So I need to put my servo in and put these bits and bobs. So next time you see this little bad boy, guys, it should be all made up. All right, and then check it out as we drive it, and we give it a bit of beans, and hopefully we don't destroy it. So stay tuned for that. I'm going through the book, so let's have a look. So in the packet, guys, we have got aerial. We've got our HPI decals. All right. We've got this important information, which is probably telling you do's and don'ts, or is it warranty? Have fun, but please read this. So it's basically like the warning. It's not a toy. Be careful how you drive it. Probably about lipo batteries and all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, interesting bedtime reading if you're a RC geek. But yeah, so nice. I mean, HPI's booklets are nice. They've got that nice smooth kind of feel, the velvety kind of feel to the front covers, and they actually are pretty decent. You can tell they feel expensive. You get it? They're not just some cheap rubbish that you get sent out. What's interesting on this, guys, is that I've just tried turning the rear diffs, and the rear diffs turn so smoothly. There's hardly any resistance, but the front ones are a different story, guys. There's definitely some thicker viscosity fluid in them front diffs because that's hard to turn. So I don't know whether they're trying to lock it up to make it into like a drifting kind of car. I don't really know what's going on, but that's really hard to turn. So it should be interesting. It should be interesting to see how this thing performs. Yep. Stay tuned. Okay, guys. So basically got on with that. Completed it. So we've got the system in there. Looks pretty dark and pretty dapper. Looks kind of stealth, man. So yeah, I like the way it looks. There's not much aluminium on there. It is a dark chassis with dark parts, and I think the system just fitted in there perfectly. It went really well. And I had a TF40 knocking about from the old Savage days, and I thought, you know what? Why don't we just go HPI all the way? So yep. So that's what's in there. I'm tempted to put a gyro in there, a drift one, but I'll see how we get on. So what's left over from the build? Some body clips. And you know what, guys? I didn't really go with their servo fitting kit. They were just 2 screws with a washer, and I went with the screws that I put in for the Traxxas. I don't know if you guys know which one's going to the Traxxas. They're a bit of a weird shape, guys, but I put 4 of them in. I just wanted it to be more secure. I know this servo's pretty strong, so because of that, I put 4 screws in, and they've got a really large surface area flathead. So yeah, if I get one out, I'll show you. But yep, and that's what's left over. That is the high-speed spare gear, and it must be the rear body mount. If you want to put on some bigger, bigger bodies or taller bodies, that's the rear shock tower. All right. So pretty cool that they give you the spare gear in there. This, I believe, guys, if you didn't want to fit the whole receiver box system in, I believe it's got the same kind of screw fitting as the receiver box. So maybe this is an option to fit the servo in without the receiver box. Not exactly sure. Looks a bit like it to me, but I was kind of tempted to go down that route, just for ease. I like to swap stuff around, so my stuff has to be easy accessible and movable, and all this kit's left over as well. Alright, so we've got, I think, C-hubs there, and we have some of these, they're not turnbuckles, but they kind of, these things, I don't know what they're called on here. So some spares that are on there. Alright, and I didn't use their strip. I'd use that to put the spare gear in, but yeah, I didn't use their strip of double-sided tape. I always go with Velcro, guys. Velcro is just so much easier. If I want to move that system out or take the ESC and put it into something else, is Velcro it in, pull it out, off we go, guys. So I tend to prefer that, and it's a good thing I did, because I fitted the ESC in and then later on realised that, well, hold on a minute, all the wires have got to go underneath into this receiver box. So I was lucky that it's a good thing that I actually put Velcro in. I just took the ESC out and shoved all the wires in. Pretty cool. I was going to put this down here, but then I thought if I chain the motor or put another pinion on, I've got to keep taking it off. But if you've got Velcro, not a problem. That's the benefit, guys. You can always move stuff about. I didn't cable tie this. I've got them, you know what you get in toys, and they used to come on old bread packets as well, that bendy kind of plastic. I just put that on there. So quick release, if you want to get this out, put it somewhere else, it's easy to do. At the moment I fitted a 2S system into it, a 2S LiPo. If you want to put 3S in, I believe you've got to unscrew this bit here, alright, from the bottom, and then that comes out, and you can then fit a 3S. You know, it's always a good idea to put a bit of sponge in there as well, so you don't get too much movement. Put a Savox Servo in there, and it's pretty strong, guys. Pretty strong. You're going to see this little bad boy running anyway. Okay, and I've got these little stealth wheels on there at the same time as well. So, all in all, pretty cool. If you're going to build this, a few things just to note, guys, that the Servo build, you've got to look for it basically. It's pretty cool. It all swivels together. It's, you know, one that you kind of screw on. Just follow the order, but you've got to find it in the diagram. Okay, and it's pretty self-explanatory how to put it on. That wasn't very clear. I left a gap when I did this. So there's two parts in like a grub screw, long kind of grub screw that they screw onto, and I left a gap, but you don't leave a gap. Close them. So when you screw both sides on, make sure there's no gap between them, and then you have got brilliant servo movement on the left and the right hand side. The reason why I didn't really go through the whole build, guys, there's videos on there. Do you really want to watch me go on for another 20 minutes? So I didn't, but if that's something that you do want to see, not a problem. I've got loads of builds. I tend to do more stuff off camera than I do on camera, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, guys, let me know. But just for the length of the videos, I notice people don't watch long videos too much. I keep it short and sweet. Okay, next time you see that little bad boy, I'll be out there. The bumper should have been black really, guys, innit? To go with the whole look, but yeah, whatever. So I'm going to try and drift this little bad boy. I haven't got the speed gearing in there, but I'm going to see how it copes. This system's high kV motor is going to be on a 3S LiPo, so we'll see how we do. Alright, and the gyro that I was going to put in is the old track style one, had knocking about. So obviously HPI doesn't have the TSM system like the track stuff does, but this is an old D-spec drift gyro, and yeah, should be pretty cool. I'll try it out with that, especially if I'm going to drift it. But yep, there it is, completed and ready to go. So stay tuned for the next one. Oh yeah, and last thing, guys, body mounts, right? This is the thing, man, you know, because I don't just want to limit the car to one body shell. Now, if you size your car up, put a body shell on, you're cutting your body posts. But what that means is that if there's another body shell that requires a higher ride height, you're kind of snookered because you've cut your posts. So the magnetic way to go is a better way, but again, with this system here, you've got to cut the body posts. It's mainly a one-hit wonder. It works on one body shell and it won't work on others. Alright, the rears aren't a problem because you can drop the rear ones. You just pull that pin out and it'll drop, so you can adjust the ride or just the height of it from there. The fronts are a problem because there isn't that ability to drop, so you've got to cut. Now I'm trying to find a way of not cutting, or trying to also I can shop and change my body shell, so I'm not just stuck to one body shell on that car. So there's another kit here. That's the one that has more like a plate that goes across. Excuse me, but I'm in two minds about that as well. That will require cutting as well. So what really, I was thinking that someone should do telescopic body posts. I don't know if that is a thing, but I was thinking that that could be a really cool way of not having to cut your body posts and being able to fit loads of bodies onto one car. Anyhow, I'm gonna have a little think about that. I might Velcro stuff. We'll see how we go on. Okay. Right guys, I thought I'd give it a quick blast to show you how the system is working. Now, if you ever were to do this kit, it sounds rough. It sounds like the pinion and spur are both metal, only the pinion's metal. It's got a very rough kind of transmission, so I backed off the spur gear just a tad bit, just to make sure it's not too tight, because it sounded a bit rough. But anyhow, I think that just might be the transmission. Every car is a bit different. That's the screw I was talking about, guys. It's got a huge flat surface, and then they're the ones that Traxxas used to put in their servos on the Slash, Stampede and Rustler and all these different cars. Okay, I found they're much better at holding in servos, especially if they're quite strong. You don't just want to put two in there. So let's switch it on. All right, on from here, on from there, and the servo's got a bit of life in it. All right, and let's have a little. Now these tyres aren't glued, so they might come off. Move that off there. All right. So yeah, there is some power in there. That's only 2S, guys. So on 3S, it's going to be a different animal. All right, but yeah, it definitely puts to pull them tires off. Sounds mean though, doesn't it? So even though I've backed it off, listen to the transmission when I cuff the throttle. Just got a very rough sounding transmission. I don't know what it is. I thought maybe the gear mesh was too tight, so I just backed it off a little bit just to make sure. Now the tip is to make sure that the teeth are touching both sides of the tooth that it's gone into. So the V shape of the other tooth is touching both sides. That's a comfortable fit. And you know, obviously you want a little bit of a gap. You don't want it to go straight into each other. You obviously would have seen pictures in it, guys. So I just backed off a little bit, thinking that maybe it's too tight, but it's just the transmission. I think it's noisy. Anyhow, yep. So there's some beans. There's some power there, man. But we'll see how we get on when we go out, guys, and hopefully it'll look like a real bad boy. Okay. Get subscribed, notified, Mossy5734. You don't want to miss out, guys. Our 110 scale shootout is going nuts. Okay, guys, so here we've got the RS4 Sport Creator Edition that I've built up. And I'm looking forward to trying it out. It does feel solid, it feels robust, it feels good. Just really low. So I'm going to tighten them shocks down a little bit, raise the ride height a bit, otherwise it's going to catch. That's one of the reasons why I left 110 scale. I got fed up with them catching on the ground. Hopefully that's not my experience this time round. Alright guys, so you can see it's all been fitted, so you've got the height adjustable body posts. It says it'll fit loads of bodies because you can do these micro adjustments. But you know, it would have been so much nicer if all these 110 scale cars put their body posts in the same place, because you could just have so many different bodies. The wheelbase of these is more or less 257 millimeters. They're kind of like all similar, but the holes are in different places. Just would have made life a lot easier if they did. Tamiya seem to have most of the body shells that are out there, but I do like the HPI ones. But yeah, it just would be nice if you could fit them without having to put loads of extra holes on your, on your shell. And if you cut it and put magnetic posts, yeah, but what happens then when you've cut your front posts? What happens now when you've got you know, a body shell that's raised higher than the one you had before. So basically, if you cut it and set it for one shell, that's it. It's a one-hit wonder. It's not working on nothing else. So you're gonna see this little bad boy running. Hopefully, it lives up to expectations and the hype. So we'll check it out.